Mulai ya. Good night, everyone. Welcome to today's debate session. My name is Shahla Zarlina, and I will be the chairperson for this debate. The motion for today's debate is this House believes that university should promote student exchange programs rather than online international collaboration. We have four teams competing today. On the government side, we have the opening government represented by the Prime Minister and Deputy Prime Minister, and the closing government represented by member of government and the government whip. On the opposition side, we have the opening opposition represented by the leader of opposition and the deputy leader of opposition, and the closing opposition represented by the member of opposition and the opposition whip. Before we begin, please allow me to introduce our adjudicators who will assess the debate today. They are Aliana Nandita Waluyo and Wafa Nurfadila. Rules and time: Each speaker will have 7 minutes to deliver their speech. After each speech, the opposing team may give a short rebuttal or a point of information when allowed. Now, let us begin. I would like to invite the first speaker for the government bench to open the case. Please welcome the Prime Minister. The time is yours.
Okay, honorable judges, esteemed members of the House, and my worthy opponents, good day. As the Prime Minister, I proudly stand to purpose the motion this House believes that universities should promote students' exchange programs rather than online international collaboration. Let me begin by clarifying the key terms. A student exchange programs mean a system where students study abroad for a certain period, expressing a different culture and education system directly. Meanwhile, online international collaboration refers to virtual teamwork between students from different countries through digital platforms. First, real-world cultural and social experience. Exchange students live and study in a foreign environment, learning not only from books but from new customs, and develop intellectual competence, something not online platform can truly replicate. This builds open-minded, confident, and globally aware students. Second, academic and professional growth. Studying abroad exposes students to different teaching methods, reaches facilities, and academic standards. This broadens their academic perspective and increase their career opportunities. Employers value international experience because it proves adaptability and independence. Third, personal development and maturity. Living abroad, teaching independence, time management, and problem solving in real situations. Online collaboration may improve teamwork, but they cannot develop emotional resilience or self-confidence as living in another country does. While online collaboration is confidence, students' exchange programs provide a far richer and more transformative educational experience. That is why, as the opening government, we strongly support the motion. Thank you.
Thank you, Prime Minister. Now, please welcome the Leader of Opposition. The time is yours.
Thank you, distinguished educator, honorable member of the House. As the leader of opposition, I rise to strongly oppose this motion. We believe universities should promote online international collaboration rather than physical student exchange program. Our stand is guided by three principles: accessibility, sustainability, and inclusivity. Accessibility, democratic education. Exchange programs are expensive and selective. Travel, visa, and accommodation must exclude low-income students. Online collaboration eliminates these barriers, giving every student a fair chance to engage in international learning. University must be engines of equality, not privilege. Promoting exchange program over online collaboration is inequitable and elitist. Sustainability and responsibility. Flying thousands of students worldwide generate massive carbon emissions. In this era of climate urgency, universities have adapted to promote green education models. Online collaboration reduces environmental footprint while maintaining cross-cultural interaction. Online platforms expand innovation and connectivity. Post-pandemic education has evolved. Tools like virtual labs, global webinar, and AI-assisted research platform enable interactive learning across continents. This technology promote digital literacy and prepare students for future global workplace that rely on remote teamwork. In conclusion, student exchange program may sound prestigious, prestigious, but they serve the few, not the many. Online collaboration are inclusive, sustainable, and future-ready. We therefore proudly oppose this motion. Thank you.
Thank you, Leader of Opposition. Now, please welcome the Deputy Prime Minister. The time is yours.
Okay, thank you, honorable judges. As Deputy Prime Minister, I proudly stand to strengthen our government case and extend the arguments present by my PM. First, let's talk about communication and human connection. In exchange programs, students communicate face-to-face, build real friendship, and learn empathy. Online collaboration often suffers from poor engagement, time zone issue, and lack of emotional connection. True understanding among culture happens through a real human interaction, not through screens. Second, exchange program build stronger global network. When students study abroad, they form lasting relationship and professional links with people from different countries. Their real network are much more valuable and sustainable than online contacts that usually end after the project is done. The third, let me address the possible argument from the opposition. They might say online collaboration is cheaper and more accessible. Yes, it's true, but education is not only about conventions. It's about quality and impact. Exchange program can be supported by scholarship and partnership, ensuring that even students from modest backgrounds and experienced students studying abroad. The solution is not to replace exchange program with online collaboration.
but to make them more inclusive. Online collaboration are helpful, but they cannot replace the deep learning, culture impression, and personal growth rate from student action program. For this reason, we, the government batch, strongly affirm the motion. Universities should promote pro-students exchange program rather than online international collaborations. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Prime Minister. Now, please welcome the Deputy Leader of Opposition. The time is yours.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I will now strengthen our side case with deeper analysis and respond to government study argument. The cultural experience argument is elitist. Government romanticize travel as if it is accessible to all. Most students cannot afford such experience. Digital collaboration allow culture to be exchanged meaningful through short project, language exchange, and online festival. Culture is about connection, not location. Academic engagement is not limited online. Today, virtual classroom, 3D labs, and AI translation to create real-time global collaboration. Online research teams across continents are producing groundbreaking results without anyone boarding a plane. Preparation for a digital world. The future workforce is global, remote, and hybrid. University must prepare students for that reality. Online collaboration, that digital teamwork, adaptability, and cross-border coordination, skill essential in modern employment. And conclusion, the government proposal glorifies the past, the opposition embraces progress, education must evolve, not remain trapped in old ideas of going abroad to be worldly. We fully reject the motion. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Leader of Opposition. Next, please welcome the Member of Government. The time is yours.
Again, thank you, Chairman, for your opportunity. And also thank you, Miss, as a speaker, your arguments. As the member of government, I will extend our side by showing how exchange programs shape not only individuals but also international relation and innovations ecosystems. So global citizenship builds soft power and diplomacy. Students aboard act as formal ambassadors, promoting understanding and comprehension between nations. These personal connections often evolve into professional and diplomatic network, fueling global collaborations beyond academia. International interactions, however, are feeling real diplomacy is built on human trust, not video call. The second, emotion and behavior growth. Adaptations to new environment develop emotional intelligence, handling stress, failure, and cross-cultural misunderstanding. just train, define effective global leaders. Online collaborations like the psychological challenge necessary to build these competitions. So the result of oppositions, inclusivity can be addressed through a scholarship, exchange funding, or hybrid programs, not by abolishing travel entirely. Sustainably can be improved, but human experience cannot be digitalized. So the conclusion is exchange program create transformations, not just interactions. They produce the kind of leader our interconnected world truly needs. Thus, the government side form stands for. So this for me. Thank you.
Thank you, member of government. Next, please welcome the member of opposition. The time is yours.
Thank you, Honorable Judge and respected Chair. As the member of opposition, I will extend our case by highlighting how online collaboration revolutionizes institutional equity and innovation capacity. First, online collaboration democratizes global education. Physical exchange is limited by hundreds at most. Digital collaboration platforms, however, can connect thousands of students simultaneously, enabling mass participation across the borders. This scale education globally, making internalization equitable. Second, accelerating innovation through digital synergy. Online collaboration allow researchers, artists, and engineering worldwide to co-create continuously. They have already produced joint innovation in AI, public health, and climate science in fields impossible to sustain through short-term exchange. Now, the government over idealized travel through collaboration is not just about being in the same room. It's about sharing ideas sustainably and inclusively across the borders. Now, online collaboration empowers both individual and institution to connect knowledge at scale. This is the future of education, global and inclusive, and also digital. We proudly oppose this motion. Thank you.
Thank you, member of opposition. Now, please welcome the government whip. The time is yours.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Let me crystallize this debate into three key classes. Class 1, access versus depth. Opposition focuses on access, but education is about impact. Exchange programs may serve fewer students, but they transform them profoundly. Class 2, experience versus efficiency. Online collaboration is efficient, but shallow exchange programs cultivate leadership, empathy, and global awareness. Education's real goals. Class 3, sustainability versus humanity. Online learning may save energy, but education's essence is human connection. Sustainability should complement, not replace, human development. Universities are responsible for shaping global citizens capable of leading with wisdom, not just working remotely. Exchange programs embody this mission. We therefore stand proud to propose this motion. Thank you.
Thank you, Government Whip. And finally, please welcome the Opposition Whip to deliver the closing speech of the debate. The time is yours.
Thank you, Honorable Chair and respected judges. Ladies and gentlemen, I, as the opposition whip, I'm here to fairly wake this debate and show you why the opposition bench clearly wins. Let's go through them one by one. First, it's about elitism and equality. The government celebrates physical exchange as a bridge between cultures, but in reality, that bridge only stands for privileged few. Programs are expensive, selective, and geographically limited. They benefit hundreds, while online collaboration empowers thousands of benefit across class and culture. Opposition therefore stands for equity, making global education accessible to all, not just the lucky one. Equity is not just a policy choice, it's a moral foundation of education. Second, it's about purpose of education. Government says education is about emotion, experience, and cultural immersion. We agree these are valuable, but they are not the core purpose of education. Education at its heart is about knowledge, collaboration, and transformation. You don't need to fly across the world to achieve this goal. Thus, our model fulfills the true spirit of global learning. It's intellectual, inclusive, and transformative. Now, the third, it's about future readiness. The government wants to send students into the world physically. We want to prepare them for the world that already exists digitally. The future workforce demands virtual cooperation skills like managing cross-border teams, digital communication, and remote innovation. Universities must teach students to thrive in that environment. So the question isn't which model is nicer or more emotional. The question is which one prepares humanity for the next generation of challenge. And clearly that's the opposition model. At the end of this debate, only the opposition side guarantees equitable, sustainable, and innovative education for all. We are not rejecting culture, we are redefining how humanity learns and connects. Therefore, with confidence and conviction, we opposition bench proudly rejects this motion. Thank you.
Thank you, Opposition Whip. That concludes all the speeches for today's debate. Thank you to all debaters for your participation and engaging arguments. Now, I will hand over the session to the adjudicators. We'll take a few minutes for the decide the result and final evaluation.
We need 5 minutes to discuss the result. Please write.
Okay, share.
Okay, thank you, Chair. Good afternoon, debaters. First of all, thank you for the engaging debate and the effort each of you put into your speeches. I appreciate your preparation and your confidence in presenting your arguments. Now I will deliver the feedback based on your overall performance, including argumentation, structure, pronunciation, and delivery. For Prime Minister, you started the debate well by defining the key term clearly, which helped set the foundation for the discussion. Your pronunciation was understandable, but it could be more assertive and smooth to improve the overall flow of delivery. Try to use more voice variation and confidence in pronunciation. For Deputy Prime Minister, you're successfully strengthening your team's stance while also addressing some points from the opposition, which was good. However, your pronunciation still needs improvement. Some words were mispronounced and the flow was slightly interrupted. The speech was rather short and lacked supporting data to make your points stronger. For opening opposition team, the first one is leader of opposition. You presented the ideas about accessibility and inclusivity quite clearly. However, your speech didn't sound like it was directly responding to the Prime Minister's arguments. It's important to first clarify the government's point before presenting your own. Your pronunciation needs more work. There were some hesitations and unclear articulation. The speech was also too short and lacked strong supportive evidence. And then for a deputy leader of opposition, your delivery was hesitant and lacked emphasis. The main point about online programs being more flexible and modern was clear, but your pronunciation was unclear at several points. You need to improve your intonation and confidence. For closing government team, the first one, member of government, you had a good opening and introduced new arguments effectively. However, the pronunciation of R and S was a bit too fast, which slightly reduced clarity. Your tone was assertive, and you also presented some supporting data, which was good. Try to improve breath control for this a steadier pace. Your conclusion was strong, and your extension was relevant. And for government whip, your clearly identified the clashes and summarized the debate well. Your pronunciation was clear and your pace was consistent, although the delivery felt a bit too flat at times. You could show more energy to make your summary more engaging. Still, it was a solid and well-structured speech. For for closing opposition team, the first one, member of opposition, your speech had a stable tone and clear voice. Through there were a few moments of hesitation. Some words could be pronounced more accurately and you could add more energy to your presentation. Your new argument was a good addition to your team's case. And then the last one, opposition whip. Your pronunciation was quite clear and easy to understand. You summarized your team's arguments well and delivered them with confidence. The reasoning was strong and persuasive. That's it.
Okay, thank you all for participating in today's debate. And here I will announce the winner of round one of the debate. The first winning is closing government. The second is closing opposition. The third is opening government. And the fourth is opening opposition. Is it clear, guys?
Okay, thank you for the adjudicators. The debate is now officially closed. Thank you everyone for your attention and participation. Have a great day.